All right, let's get into it. Today, we're diving into a short but incredibly sharp novella called It's Me, Not You. Now, you might think you know where this is going, but trust me, this is not a romance. It's a reckoning. The whole story is less of a window into someone else's life, and honestly, more of a mirror for our own.
Wow, this quote right here, it's basically the whole premise of the story. It's an invitation to look inward, telling us right from the start that this isn't really about the drama between people, but the storm brewing inside of one person. So, with that in mind, let's meet our main character.
Okay, so picture this. We're in this super elite university town, kind of tucked away in the Alps. We're talking only the absolute best of the best get accepted here. And right in the middle of all this is our protagonist, Fajita, a young woman who has absolutely mastered the art of looking perfect.
And the contrast here is just huge. On the surface, Fajita is the total queen, right? She's got this fresh flower energy, everyone loves her, she's soaking up all that validation. But underneath it all, she's completely exhausted. She's got all these brilliant friends, but she feels totally alone. And that little voice in her head is asking, yeah, everyone's looking at me, but is anyone actually looking out for me? It's that classic imposter syndrome turned up to 11.
So you've got this huge internal battle she's fighting. And what happens next? Well, that battle basically comes to life in the form of two guys. Two completely different guys walk into her life, and they pretty much represent the two halves of her own mind, pulling her in opposite directions.
Okay, so let's break him down. First, you've got Benjamin. He's the noise, the charismatic football captain. He's loud, he's exciting, a little unsteady, and he demands her attention, which, is exactly the kind of validation she thinks she needs. Then, you've got Kalen. He's the silence, the professor's aide, the goat of chill. He's quiet, he doesn't ask for anything, and the scariest part for her, he seems to see right past her perfect act.
And listen to this, her own inner voice just spells it out. She's thinking, surreal how our frequencies sync, like she feels this connection to Kalen. But then she asks, but why are we tuned to others' expectations? It's a huge moment of clarity, but also total confusion. Her whole world is about getting approval from the outside, and here's this guy who just isn't. And that right there is where things start to get really, really messy.
And this is super important. This is not a love triangle. What's happening here is that her admiration for Kalen's authenticity, his quiet confidence, well, it starts to rot. It turns into something else. She's terrified of a real connection, something she can't manage or perform for. And because she can't control how she feels about him, and she definitely can't control him, her brain just short circuits.
You can literally watch her spiral down this path of self-sabotage. First, she admires him. That admiration turns into a craving for his attention. But that craving makes her feel weak, out of control. So what comes next? Fear. That fear turns into resentment, and she starts avoiding him. And finally, that resentment just cooks into pure rage. It's like Kalen is a mirror showing her a version of herself she's too scared to be. So instead of looking in the mirror, she decides she has to shatter it.
So all that internal chaos, it's not internal anymore. It explodes outward. She starts going after him publicly. She mocks him, she twists his words to make him look bad, and she actually gets a kick out of seeing him uncomfortable. It's her desperate attempt to get back in the driver's seat, to feel powerful again. And this sets up the final showdown.
All right, everything has been building to this one moment, the final exams. This is the breaking point. By now, Fajita has completely convinced herself that Kalen isn't just some guy who gets on her nerves. No, in her mind, he is the enemy. He's a direct threat to everything she's built.
I mean, her paranoia is just off the charts. She's waiting for these exam results, and she's built this whole narrative in her head where it's a zero-sum game. For her to win, he has to lose. All her own fears about not being good enough, she's just slapped them all onto him.
And then, get this, right before the results go up, he sees her, and he just wishes her well. Super simple, super kind. But she is so far gone, so deep down her own rabbit hole, that his kindness just spooks her even more. She literally tells herself it's all an act, that he's secretly this cold, calculating villain hiding behind a nice guy mask.
She has her whole story straight. Her enemy, her villain, it all makes sense to her. But what if she's wrong? What if she's misread everything from the very beginning?
And then the results are posted. And there it is, in black and white. Fajita passes. But Kalen, the genius, the professor's aide, fails. He fails his communications exam. And for a second, she must feel this rush of relief, victory even. But wait a minute, something's not right.
And then it hits her, like a punch to the gut. A friend says something like, "Weird that Kylan failed, right?" And suddenly all the pieces just click into place. He was the professor's aide. He had access. He must have seen she was about to fail, and he switched his paper with hers. He sacrificed his own grade to ensure she passed. The person she had turned into a monster was the only one who actually saved her.
And this is the reckoning. This is where the title of the story, "It's me, not you," just slams into focus. But it's not a breakup line anymore. Oh no, it's something so much heavier.
Because she finally gets it. This story was never, ever about romance. It was about her confronting herself. Cahalan wasn't the enemy. He was just a mirror. The real problem, the real villain in this story, was her own defensiveness, her absolute terror of being vulnerable, and this deep, ugly pattern of self-sabotage.
And so that final line, that "damn, it's me, not you," it's not an excuse she's giving someone else, it's a confession. To herself. It's her finally, devastatingly admitting that she was the one who caused all the pain. It was always her.
And the story leaves us with this incredible question to chew on. What do you notice first? The butterfly's fragile wings or the serpent coiled beneath? Because in Fajita, you see both, don't you? The delicate butterfly needing everyone to like her, and that coiled serpent ready to strike out of fear. And it kind of forces you to ask yourself the same thing. When you really look at yourself, which one do you see first? Because figuring that out, well, that changes everything.